Is there a magic formula for brands to turn young consumers into long-term loyal customers? On the surface, it appears that there is. From the onset of their birth, Generation X and the earliest members of the Millennials have had the same advertising strategy applied to them that was so successful with their parents and grandparents. Upon closer inspection, however, it becomes clear that this strategy failed.
Hi, I'm Joanie Marx. I'm a three-time international best-selling author and the creator of 3 acclaimed online courses for Udemy.com, and I'm welcoming you to this 5th episode of The Invisible Customer with All the Money. This 7-part series is based on nearly 15 years of research into the 50-plus consumer. And the material in this series, some of it are edited excerpts from the first chapter that I wrote for The Expert's Cure, which is a Wall Street Journal and USA Today best-selling book. So let's get started now talking about the strategy that put the focus on the youth to the detriment of the 50-plus consumer. And let's look at how that worked out. From its origin in the 50s and 60s, right up to the beginning of the 2000s, it seemed undeniable that the disengagement theory was correct. For when you looked to the media for what was going on in the world, it appeared as if the aging population was sick and disposable while the youth were taking over. But what was this magic formula for turning a profit while targeting the youth? The formula was simple. Ignore the aging population and focus on the youth by selling them a future that appears brighter than the present. To make this work, the strategic formula involved establishing a clear divide between young and older generations. This is a long-term strategy that stretched all the way from the 1960s to the present day. Originally applied to a youthful baby boomer market, the strategy rested on predicting 3 specific things about this once-in-a-lifetime generation. So how did this surefire strategy fail? And what are the effects of misreading the 50-plus consumer?
By the late 90s and early 2000s, it was clear the strategy that focused on selling to the youth at the exclusion of the 50-plus consumers was flawed. Not only that, but it also produced widely documented mental and emotional health issues that affected both the young and the old. This flawed strategy was also detrimental to the brands and companies who banked on it because nothing was going as planned. Unlike generations before them, those who are 50 and over today are not only more financially affluent and technologically savvy than previous generations, but they are also living longer as well.
Let's look at what happens when companies focus on outdated strategies.
In his book, The Icarus Paradox, author and Canadian economist Danny Miller highlighted the paradox of once extraordinarily successful brands that ignored the warning signs of their success and ultimately crashed and burned. In an article published in 2009 by the Harvard Business Review titled Business and the Icarus Paradox, it showed that the 1966 Fortune 100 list was nearly unrecognizable in 2009. Of the 100 companies on that list, 66 of them are now out of business. 15 still exist in some form, but were not on the Fortune 100 list any longer. And only a scant 19 of them remained on the Fortune 100 list when this study was conducted in 2009. And according to the Harvard Business Review, you could call it arrogance or, more kindly, being naive. But there is a certain blindness at play. Blindness to the dangers of continuing a previously successful course of action for too long. Numerous other studies and statistics have backed this up, revealing that the profitability of this strategy has been on a drastic decline for over 2 decades. Now, in the aftermath of a global pandemic in 2020, ignoring the invisible customer with all the money is even more perilous for brands, both big and small. The question is, what to do about it? In the final 2 episodes of this series, Joanie Marx will share with you staggering statistics that further reveal the truth about who the 50-plus consumer really is and just how much spending power they possess. You will also learn about solutions for establishing and nurturing a genuine connection with the invisible customer with all the money. How can Joanie Marx improve your brand loyalty with the 50-plus consumer? As a brand story advisor to the 50-plus market, as your brand spokeswoman to the 50-plus market, online workshop for your team on the 50-plus consumer, and a project that includes all 3 of these options. To arrange a complimentary consultation or book Joanie for an engaging interview on your podcast, email her today at joanie@joaniemarx.com.